Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Friday Face-Off here, where Vex and I, we take a topic in the hockey world that people are talking about, sometimes controversial, sometimes can spark a little bit of debate, whatever it may be. But today, Vex, we're going to talk about something that the hockey world, it's been a hot button topic for a lot of years now. And that's the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs. And so they just got ousted in the second round. Man, it's been a minute since they've made a long run, and this core four thing, they just haven't been able to get it done. And so just a little bit of a hot button topic right now. So give me your thoughts on the TO Maple Leafs.
I want to start first with I read it yesterday. Somebody on Twitter was talking about, you know what? It's Cam Jansen. It's Cam Jansen talking about on his podcast with Cam and Strick about how he thought the Florida guys were subtly throwing daggers at the Maple Leaf guys when they were talking about the Toronto fans and how they feel bad for the Toronto players because it's so hard to play there because they're so the fans are like so intense and so like hot and cold, and if you lose, they're dead to you and all those things. And there were other people who thought that those guys on the Panthers were being sincere, and being like, man, it's just way harder to play in Toronto.
But Cam was saying that was like premeditated. We're going to put it in their heads that the pressure's on them.
Well, Cam was saying that they were chirping them. They were saying that, but what they were really saying to the players is like, oh, poor you, it's so hard to play in Toronto, type of thing. And I was like, oh, I didn't think they were doing that, but maybe they were doing that, and just kind of because Marshy and Kachuk and guys who like to chirp. So I was like, okay, maybe they were chirping them, and it wasn't actually like, oh, it really is hard to play. It is hard to play in Toronto, which I'm sure it is. When you have that type of magnifying glass on you in every single thing you do, if you're not playing well, it is very hard, no doubt about that. But that's why you get paid a bunch of money. So I don't feel bad for you. I'll change.
What I think was like
with you in a second.
Yeah, what I think was like the craziest thing too? Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber wearing what he was wearing, sitting first row right behind.
Oh yeah, that wasn't Bieber though, was it? It was
Bieber. Yeah.
I thought they were joking, saying Justin Bieber's behind the first row.
No, he was literally sitting first row behind the bench.
You got to send me that picture, because I saw somebody say that, and then the picture of it was like some really old guy with dyed blonde hair looking ridiculous, and it wasn't Justin Bieber.
No, it was Bieber.
Oh, that is weird.
But anyway, like he's boys with Matthews and probably other guys on the team, and it's just like really weird that he would like go sit in a box, man. Like don't sit right behind the bench. You're gonna be a distraction. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was kind of like, this. I don't know, like. I don't know if this is going to work. And it didn't, losing 6-1. Another thing I want to talk about, though, is like when you talk about the Leafs in this series, you have to talk about the Florida Panthers first, because their style and brand of hockey and the way that they play could be the hardest team to play against in the NHL. And I threw some social media posts out there about like their gaps, man. Like there was no room. There was legit no room for the Maple Leafs to do anything. Now, you can argue that, the Maple Leafs could have done some more competing or maybe changed some things around to put Florida on their heels a little bit, be a little bit more of the aggressor of the pace and stuff. But, like, man, the Panthers are so well built. They're so well built. They're so hard to play against. They're so good, man. So, like, part of it was probably Toronto choking, but, like, a big part of it has to do with the fact that Florida is legit. Obviously, they won the Stanley Cup last year, and they're putting themselves in a position to do it again.
Right, and I saw somebody that we've had on the podcast before just posted something on Instagram like 2 days ago talking about the coach of the Panthers and how when he worked with him, Matt Nichol was saying that, one of his biggest quotes, and it's been like in all of Matt Nichol's gyms, is like doing the little things savagely well. or
Yeah.
something along those lines. And just like how insanely important that is to be successful in playoffs in hockey, and also the gym, and also life, anything you want to be good at. And I give this speech to younger players all the time. It's not the big sexy things done once in a while. It's the things that you think don't really matter, but you do them every single day, and they wind up adding up to being really, really important and become part of your identity as a player, as a team, as an organization, as a business, as anything. And so that's why they're so hard to play against. They do the little things so savagely well.
Yeah, and they have amazing depth. Like their fourth line right now at the beginning of the playoffs, those guys were out of the lineup, and now they're in the lineup. And to win at that level, you need your studs, but you need depth too. You need depth, and especially depth that's hard to play against at the end of the day. And yeah, man, I feel for Toronto fans. I mean, you talk to people, they don't want to play in Toronto because of the media and how crazy it is up there. Like, it is actually crazy that a Canadian team has not won a Stanley Cup since 1993. That's absolutely insane that a Canadian market team has not won a Stanley Cup since the Montreal Canadiens did it in 1993.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope the Oilers do it this year, baby. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, geez, they got a chance, man. They got a chance. Anytime you got McDavid in the lineup, you got a chance. And anytime you got Trent Frederick in the lineup,
that's right.
You got a chance.
That's right. Did I tell you what Freddie said to me after being there for 2 weeks? I had a phone call with him. I'm talking to him, and I was asking. I was like, dude, I don't like asking you about guys and stuff like that, but I gotta ask you, bro. Like, how good is McDavid? And he's like, Vex, I've never seen anyone whose hands get better the faster they skate. He's like, the whole NHL, there's nobody who that is a thing. He's like, for somehow, I don't know what he did as a kid. I don't know what he does. The faster he skates, the better his hands get, and the better the control of the puck he has. I was just, and then you think about back to when you're playing, and you're like, when you're skating full speed, how hard it is to like stick handle at absolute top speed, and just how amazing of a quality that is to have in a player. So pretty damn cool.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. I remember watching him play as a 15-year-old in Toronto. Yeah, insane.
He's
even good. At that point.
So Joe Wall, man. I mean, he played awesome. I feel, the games that I watched, I thought he played phenomenal. If your team doesn't get guys on the back door, if your team leaves guys open in the low slot, the high slot, everywhere, they're going to score goals. I mean, it's so hard to be a goalie when you're thinking the shot's coming here and there's a guy wide open back door or something, and I feel bad for him, but really proud of the guy. Never gives up, never stops battling. So I was happy to see him play well in the series.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing too, probably for him, was the amount of time that Florida played in the offensive zone. You think about Game 7, the first half of that first period, like it was just turnover back in their zone, turnover back in their zone. Like the ice tilt, which is what they call it now, was pretty heavily in favor of Florida. When you have to like do an extended zone time shift for a goalie, that is taxing, man. Oh man, is that taxing, the amount of skating that you have to do. And yeah, I feel for him too. I was disappointed. Like, I was disappointed in their studs, like to win a championship, your studs got to be your studs. You got to have depth, and there's going to be guys that are, gonna chip in with a big goal here and there on your third and fourth line or your D pair and stuff. But like, your studs got to be your studs to win. In Toronto, they just continually, their studs aren't their studs in these big moments. And you hope for their sake that they figure it out and eventually they get it. And I thought they were going to get over the hump this year, actually. And maybe if they're playing a different team other than Florida, maybe they do get into the Eastern Conference Finals. But like, you want to see more from them. And the thing I was disappointed too was like Marner giving it to the guys on the bench. There was that close up of him telling everybody to wake up in other words. But like, man, like, in order to like have a say to do something like that, like, you better be the hardest working player out there, or else it's going to fall upon deaf ears. Now, I'm not in their locker room, and he might be very well respected in that locker room. Berube, who's, an unbelievable coach and a blue collar guy to the core, says he loves Marner. And had nothing but good things to say about him after the series and everything like that. But I just thought it was a bad look, man. Like, for him to play as poorly as he has in those crucial games, to like give it to other people to tell them to wake up. Like that's not good hockey karma at the end of the day. Like you have to earn the right to give it to your team. And maybe he has through the past, but certainly not in those moments.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's tough, man. Ugh. Yeah. If you're a leader and you're supposed to be a leader and you're looked at as a leader and one of the best players in the league and one of the highest paid players in the league, like pro sports are pro sports. They're not easy. They're really hard, but you have to perform. You have to perform when it counts. Like the regular season is great. It's great. You got to win to get into playoffs first and foremost. So you need everybody to be able to do that. You need your studs to be studs. But where guys should really be making their money is the guys who perform in playoffs consistently well and make playoffs all the time, because that's what the fans care about. That's what the teams care about. That's what the management cares about. That's what the ownership cares about. That's what the TV ratings care about, is are you winning when it really freaking matters? And that's why I think guys should get paid more tilted and more heavily favored to, like, well, what do you do in playoffs? It's great that you're doing that in the regular season, and that's worth, 70% of your contract. But the other 30% is, are you a playoff performer? That's where you're 50-50 or whatever. I just think it needs to be more heavily weighted on winners.
Yeah, you need both. Because there are guys who've had great playoffs and they get these big contracts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. No. Yeah, you got to do both. Yes.
Had a good couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm an optimist by nature, and honestly, like, guys who struggle like that, I hope they figure it out. You love to see the reclamation project or the story of somebody who went through the crap and was ridiculed and everything, and then eventually they come up on top. Like that's cool. That's really, really cool to see. So I don't know if all those guys are going to be in Toronto for next year. Probably not. But hopefully they can find some better days ahead and go from there. So Friday face-off, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Everybody always loves when people talk about the Leafs. So figured we'd jump on that train here today, and have a great rest of your weekend.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.